Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Stay Involved podcast, a podcast for all Husker students looking for ways to keep involved on campus. Over the past few months, I've been able to attend a few different events hosted by the E.N. Thompson Forum. This year, the overall theme was lessons from the natural world, which I thought was awesome. Many of you have already heard this, but for new listeners, I really do love nature, and I think it's a great place to spend your extra free time. I grew up out in the countryside, so I spent a lot of time out there growing up and spent time with my brothers out there, so it has a good place in my heart. For a little bit of context, I attended a conversation with Amy Tan, nature journaling with Amy Nezhuka Matatil, which is quite difficult to pronounce, but she was amazing, and a cast inquiry uh, with Clay Kressler and The Science of Hawks by the Nebraska Game and Parks. I just want to start off with a few themes I've noticed between the events. I found a lot of connection with the Amy Tan and the other Amy's talk because they both really talked about using nature for inspiration. With Amy Tan, she talked about how she began to just draw pictures in her backyard, which led to this book that she wrote, which was really interesting and cool. That something so simple in someone's backyard even could become a full-fledged book that she's now publishing. And with the other Amy's talk, a lot of times she spent a lot of time talking about nature journaling and like thinking about what you think about before you go to bed. And I thought it was really interesting. I found myself kept drawing to like images of nature, even if we were talking about like what I think about before I go to bed. This image of a lake and like a thunderstorm rolling in, that's all I could think about. And that's what I wrote about. We wrote nocturnes and I wrote my nocturne about it. It was really, really interesting. And I found it quite almost relaxing too, which leads into the other theme that I kind of noticed, and is that nature can help us find calmness, a type of peace. We often have cluttered minds and lives, so getting some time outside in some green space, or even if it's winter, maybe out in a little snow, I think could be really beneficial to a person. Both Amy's touched on this. I also think it's important when we look at just the sense of the word peace and calm in general, when we're talking about things like politics or interactions between humans. In Clay Kressler's talk, he explained kind of like a cost system between each person or each group, how each group is willing to give up so much before conflict begins. He used examples like Palestine and Israel, as well as Ukraine and Russia, which I thought was really interesting. Just it made a lot of sense the way he explained it. Someone is only willing to give up so much and compromise before they're going to go to extreme measure or just refuse to work with someone at all. And it's you also see it in nature and different things, different animals. Maybe they're willing to compromise to a certain degree, but they're not going to let themselves be taken advantage of. And one of the final themes I found was that nature is a beautiful place and can be very artistic. I think we often under appreciate how beautiful our world is outside, just in nature. I think we get so caught up in our own lives, and it kind of ties in with the calmness one again and peace. Just we like we get so caught up in our lives, we don't really notice all the beautiful things outside. It could just be a bird, a bluebird flying through your backyard, kind of like Amy Tan, where she noticed all these birds and was drawing them, or it could be something as complex as watching a hawk hunt, or how each type of hawk has different hunting methods and incubates their eggs differently, has different amount of clutch sizes, and it's just so cool and so complex nature ecosystems. I mean, you can walk anywhere in the middle of Nebraska and you can find nature, and it's amazing. Even just in Lincoln, like if you find some trees on campus, you find squirrels. And I think this is a good time maybe to mention, if you guys are busy during finals week and if you guys haven't been able to get out of the house a lot, while you're studying. I think maybe for a break, just take 15 minutes and walk outside. I know it's gonna be cold and snowing, but maybe you'll see some squirrels, and I think it can just overall help you kind of improve with some fresh air and maybe taking your eyes off a screen for a bit. But yeah, I think nature is extremely beautiful, and we take it for granted very often. And doing something as simple as writing about what you saw in nature, kind of like the other Amy's talk was about, you can just appreciate it so much more just by writing words down. And that also helps you, I mean, helps your writing skills a little bit, and you're able to kind of comprehend what you're seeing and fully understand and digest it a little bit better. But yeah, so I think overall, these different events were really, really cool and beneficial for me to attend. And I think if you guys were to have the opportunity to attend something in the future similar, I think it'd be a great opportunity for all of you. Going forward, I believe that there's going to be some more upcoming conversations, such as I believe Neil deGrasse Tyson is coming in, which I think would be really cool. I know that I'm going to go to that, and I think you all should too if you guys have the opportunity and are available to. I know this one, that one may be a big one that draws in more people than other events, but something even like the nature drink. I don't know how many people were there for my day. Maybe it might have been some a little over 40 or so. I'm not sure, but I think the more people that go to that, it's awesome because it's such a good experience that you're not going to get anywhere else. You're not going to get that by staying at home. You're not going to get that just by going to your classes. I mean, I'm not saying your classes aren't important. I'm just saying that this is a great way to get involved on campus and other things. This is a good opportunity for you to expand what you do just with your classes. And I think that these events are worth making time for all of you guys. But overall, I think that's going to have to do it for this episode of Stay Involved. I hope you guys were able to attend some of these events. And if you were not, I hope you're going to be available to in the future. And as always, stay busy, stay involved, maybe try to learn a bit, and go Big Red.